10 years ago, we lived through some of the most intense paranormal activity imaginable. That led us to research haunted locations, supernatural beings. What's on the wall over there? And all different types of paranormal activity. What we discovered, the South Coast, is wickedly haunted. Hi everyone, welcome to Wickedly Haunted. I'm Todd.
And Marissa.
We are back for another episode from our investigation of the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast, the scene of the horrific double murder of Andrew and Abby Borden. But before we get into part 2, we're just going to run a quick recap of part 1 in case you missed it. If you missed part 1 of our investigation of the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast on Wickedly Haunted, we showed that the activity at this house started right away, that it was haunted by the spirits of Abby and Andrew Borden, the murder victims, and we got all the answers to this 128-year-old murder mystery. This is Abby Borden. Can you please shut that off? Okay. It is. Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Abby.
Is Andrew here with you? Yeah. Oh, he's turned it on. Yeah, he is.
You say it was that murdered you?
Lizzie.
Murder, right? Yeah.
Look, flashlight. Yeah, you can use the flashlight to confirm.
Move on. Move on.
What did that just say?
Did it say Lizzie?
It says me.
Is Andrew here in this room?
He's moving.
He is or no? Did Andrew kill Lizzie's pigeons? Is that why she was mad? Yes. Did it to the, did it to the pigeons. You died? She did. She did Lizzie. Lizzie Borden it.
Where's Lizzie now? Do you know where Lizzie is now?
I don't understand what the problem is. What the hell is happening? So solid.
Was Lizzie hooking up with the maid?
I can't say that.
Was Lizzie a lesbian? Yes.
What did she kill you with? Was it an axe or a hatchet? Did she kill you with something like this? Were you asleep? I was sleeping. You sleep like that with your legs off the couch? Now that you've seen the recap of what occurred on part 1, let's move on to part 2 of our investigation of the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast in Fall River, Massachusetts. All right, so we are really excited to get into this part 2 of this investigation. We've got so many answers about the 128-year-old murder mystery that we showed you in part 1. It was just really incredible stuff. And it got a lot, it's going to get a lot darker in part 2 from a type of entity or what we're dealing with. And not just because the investigation moves to the basement type of darker either. Now, there's going to be a quick change in the format of the show. We are going to basically show video clips. And then after each clip, Marissa and I are going to do a quick breakdown And then after the breakdown, we're going to take your comments and questions and answer them directly rather than just cutting into Marissa and I doing the analysis to say hi or, oh, here's the answer to that question. We're going to devote a part of the show to those questions and comments to make it more interactive. So while you're watching the video, if something pops into your head or if you're listening to our breakdown of the video, if a question pops in your head or if there's something that you want to throw out, or even if you just want to say hi to us, that's fine. We'll break right into that as soon as the analysis done, and we'll get hopefully everybody's questions and comments, and that way it gets a lot more interactive.
Yeah.
Before we get into the next video clip and start part 2, I just want to mention that if anyone is experiencing any sort of strange or unknown phenomena, and you would like a Relatively Paranormal, which is Marissa and I's research group, to come and do a paranormal investigation, you can go to our website, relativelyparanormal.com. On the last page, there is a booking form, basically. Just put in quick basic information, and we will get out and investigate as quickly as possible. If it's something that's an emergency, we will make you a priority. If it's something where you're being tormented or anything like that. If you're just hearing strange things, noises, whatever it is, you just want validation, we can come out and do that for you. If it's really bad, we do house cleansings as well. Now, that website, relativelyparanormal.com, also has links to our YouTube page, also called Relatively Paranormal, where we have a ton of great video content, our best evidence clips, full investigation videos that we try to make as soon as possible. After we show clips on Wickedly Haunted, you probably get to see about half of the stuff. And it also has links to our public Facebook group, where you can interact with us as fans of the show or just fans of paranormal in general. We welcome anyone to join the Facebook group. And also our email, relativelyparanormal@gmail.com. If you have a question or whatever, you can always email us directly in a private sense. You don't want a message on a message board or anything like that.
You want to mention the box?
No, right now. We'll do that later. Okay, so now let's move into part 2, which is basically right where we left off in that recap, where we're still upstairs in the actual living room in front of the replica couch where Andrew Borden was murdered. And we kind of start getting lured into the basement by the entities that we're speaking to, and things just get real active. So let's move into that first video. Again, right after, right where we left off in part 1.
Yes.
So I'm a little rusty. It's been a couple weeks.
Did you see the light when you died?
Watching tire. 10 minutes. Please don't have to let history of leave it all.
There was no light? So what did you see when you died then? Is there a demon holding you here?
That was not. Take me? Did I say take me? Take us out?
Get out.
No, she said. There's a demon? Where is it? Nothing on this thing? I see nothing on that.
It mapped out.
Me or but not the box.
Listen, it only mapped you guys out when you were doing the reenacting. Once you guys stopped doing that, it stopped.
And it's hard because when you're not standing up, it's weird. Who's that? Where's Brandon? Dude, somebody just moved in that other room. What's that room right there? Is that room?
Where?
It just caught something moving in there.
I
just saw a person.
That's Brandon.
No, Brandon's over here. Brandon, wave your hand. Walk forward.
Move forward. Brandon, come this way.
Right here.
Yeah, that ain't him. He's over here. That's that room. Somebody moved in there. Look again.
Oh,
You see it?
yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's moving in that room right there.
That room's
Look
more
like an
active than
ass.
this room, Todd.
That?
That room's more active than this room.
No, this it's right
One of you
here.
in the other one?
Good. This is over here. Look now.
Yeah.
This is where the figure's moving. Who's in? Let me see.
It looks like
Lizzie
two
is
ashes.
dead. Yeah, we
Who's
know
in
that
here?
Lizzie is dead.
Yeah. Hey, who's in here? Make a noise.
Yeah?
Well, that was just.
No, like, so, like, over here, when everyone was on the side, it was like two dark marks. Oh,
It's on camera too.
But she did not kill you?
Did
you see it?
Is that down at the door?
I think that's someone else.
Oh, I
coming in.
saw okay.
Make a noise like that. Can you
I
fix
just
that?
saw.
See, this goes in the door
Did
now.
Bridget have anything to do with your death? Did Bridget have anything to do with your death?
Someone? Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Did not. Okay. So it was only Lizzie. Right.
Butter?
Are you two in this room with me right now? To the light? Todd can't make the light appear for you. So. But we may be able to help you.
Did they? Hey,
If you do happen to see
Listen,
anybody die in this area,
listen, you want to bring it in
and
there for a
you
second? And ask them if they
witness
got
this person die and walk into the light,
They said she didn't get a.
you can walk into that light
That's the
with
tour
them.
guide.
All right, let's move to the basement. Hey, listen, we're gonna go to the basement. You gonna come with us?
Basement.
You coming to the basement? Here is a screenshot from our Perilous app showing the word basement came up. With all the talk of basement coming out of the Vortex Spirit Box, basement coming up on the Perilous, and it had come up numerous other times during the first part of this investigation, we knew where we had to go next, and that was the basement. Unfortunately, while we were distracted in the dining room after I saw the figure in there, I did not, nor did anyone else, hear all the threats that were coming out, trying to lure me to the basement. Even if I would have heard them, I still would have went, but it would have been nice to know that they were actually trying to give me to a demon at the time.
Okay, so yes, we knew that we had to go down to the basement. And I just want to mention real quick, we weren't sure why the basement, why the basement if...
Well, we've seen on another show that Andrew Borden likes to hide in the basement because he's sick of all the ghost hunters, all the paranormal investigators, so he likes to hide in this back corner of the basement. They even show it on the tour of the house where he hides out. So we knew we were going to go down there and at the very least try to drag him out for a conversation at some point to get his side of the story. But either way, this was so much communication about the basement over the course of the first hour, hour and a half that, we knew we were going there regardless, but it was just really strange how we kept getting basement, hearing the word basement a lot.
So real quick before we continue with that, yesterday was Todd's birthday. 40-some birthday or something like that.
I thought I turned like 27.
Yeah. So I came across a bunch of these paranormal books, and Todd's got a whole bunch of them. So I was like, oh my God, we don't have this, this, and this. So I ordered them, grabbed them, and one of them happened to be the Ghost of the South Coast. And wouldn't you know, when it came in, the first thing, it's from Tim Weisberg wrote it. The very first page I flipped to was right there, Lizzie Borden. I'm like, what are the chances?
Like legit.
Yeah, it was like, I just randomly flipped through the pages and it was like, bam, right there. I'm like, whoa, okay. So I read that page just like real quickly. I wasn't really paying attention to me, but I'm like, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. We didn't know about this. So it had mentioned in the book that, I don't even want to say
He mentioned that there were, that all of the goings on in the Borden house from the possible molestation and incest with Andrew Borden and his daughters.
We knew about that, but we
No,
didn't know.
but
Well,
he's, let me finish.
okay,
Let me finish,
okay.
He mentioned how all that, the molestation, the killing of the pigeons, the negative attitude there,
Mhm.
the fighting amongst the family, the horrific murders, the poisoning, all that stuff was caused by something that was there before the house, that was attached to the land, that was there before probably Fall River was even in existence, type of thing.
Mhm.
Like an old demonic type presence that was on that land, maybe from King Philip's War, maybe from anything like that. Like usually bad things like that can stain the land a little bit or a location, and it will draw these entities to that spot. Like the murder itself could have done that. But his viewpoint was that it was already in place. But what's really freaky is we didn't get this book till yesterday, and we investigated the Borden House on May 1st, and we've been going through all the evidence over the past couple weeks, and everything we come across lines up with what Tim wrote in the book. Like he was like dead spot on, but it's freaky. Like normally you read the book first and then go to the location, and then, you know, like you see on TV a lot, then they subjectively try to tie every piece of evidence they get into what they've already read. But we didn't know some of the stuff. Like he wrote in his book that he had impregnated Lizzie, causing her to have an abortion in the basement of the house.
They secretly had a doctor come in
Yeah,
to the basement,
Yeah.
you know, for an abortion, so they wouldn't be, you know, considered incest or.
No, I didn't
you
show
know.
it in the evidence, but I at one point, Andrew Borden was nasty from the get-go. From the get-go, Abby Borden was a sweetheart to talk to. The spirit of Abby Borden. Andrew Borden, I get it. He's probably sick of people trying to talk to him. He said so, but he was nasty, and he came at me from Jump Street. And I had read about the molestation. I have a daughter. I have children. I think there's nothing worse in the world than a child molester. Period. You are attacking people who cannot defend themselves, who have nowhere to go. They're trapped in a house with you. And if that was true, so I asked him, I gave him his chance to tell his side of the story, you know, and he just started yelling and screaming at me. But anyway, it was just strange because when we read Tim Weisberg's book, we are talking about incest, but you're also talking about a baby that would have been an inbred baby.
Mm-hmm.
So Andrew Borden didn't say, I didn't molest my daughters. He said, I am not, we don't have inbreds. We don't have inbreds or something. I was like, what the hell is he talking about inbreds for?
Like, why even bring that up?
But now you're talking about a baby, you know, being conceived like that is an inbred. And it was just crazy how it all tied in.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're going to find out in the clip that we're about to get into, is that in this basement, we run into something that has been there long before we ever stepped in that place. We had also got spirit box communication saying Andrew was, I just showed it in that video, Andrew was possessed when he killed the pigeons, with a hatchet, that Andrew was possessed. He says, I don't know if I showed or not, but it said that he was possessed. That he said, I didn't molest the girls. A ghost made me do it.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't right or something. So I get it. I can read the comments. I get it. So no, I'm just totally.
Let's go to comments. See what people have to say.
You can't do that.
Oh.
So basically, that we got all
tied
this
together.
That this ancient thing that we came across in the basement made them do all this, and we also got spirit communication that Lizzie was possessed by a demon. They say she was possessed by a demon, and they said she was a witch. Now, I don't know. I've never heard anything about Lizzie Borden being a witch before, but wouldn't that be freaky if she was posing as a Sunday school teacher, practicing the occult in the background, maybe because her life was so miserable, trying to curse her father, whatever, and then she unleashes something upon the family because she doesn't know what the hell she's doing, and everybody, she gets possessed by a demon and hacks them to pieces, which is something that we'll get into another time that we think can happen. But either way, I agree, something was there, something did attach to these people, did make things happen, and I'll tell you why, because Andrew and Abby Borden have a name for this thing, and you will see it shortly and hear about it. They were calling the demon the Goatman. Okay, you don't come up with a nickname, the Goatman, in a short amount of time. you nickname something or someone after you've spent quite a bit of time around them, you come up with a nickname. And as soon as we get in the basement, all you hear is Goatman this, Goatman that. And it is freaky. And you will see the Goatman tonight because we did capture him on camera in an actual picture. So right now, there are some comments. So let's get into the comments and see what people have questions about or what people have to say. Do you think, was that Lizzie murdered her family? Yes, in the first part, right away, as soon as we turned on the spirit box, and through actually flashlight communication, we confirmed through the spirit of Abby Borden that Lizzie did kill them. And then Andrew says repeatedly later that Lizzie killed us and they want justice. That in that recap, when they're screaming about justice, it's because they say Lizzie killed us over and over again.
Yeah, so
repeatedly.
Chris Ray asked, do you think that Lizzie murdered her family? And we got the answer to that. And yes, she did. Rose asks, I've been there haunted night.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I heard voices. That's not the same voice that came through. Okay, well, as far as the vortex spirit box goes, okay. So sometimes through that spirit box, you hear their real voice. Sometimes they're manipulating the audio of the ITC device of the invention that I created, and they're using other voices to put words together.
Mm-hmm. We could get a baby's voice come through. We could get, if a woman's speaking, we could get a man's voice come through. They're just trying to get the words out, but they may be using high-pitched voices, low-pitched voices.
Well, that's why I put the subtitles on the show, because I listen to it sometimes in slow motion, sometimes 10 times in a row, just to dissect and transcribe what's being said, because I have to differentiate. Like, the Vortex Spirit Box is so good that we hear spirits talking to each other. Andrew and Abby Borden, through that, actually had a fight over whether or not we were there to help them or we were there ghost hunting. We went over that in the last episode. Sometimes they'll talk about us.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they can see us, they can see us.
Or sometimes they jump into our conversation like they're standing next to us. Like, I'll be talking to Marissa about something, and then the ghost in the spirit box will jump into our conversation and start talking.
One time I was walking out the door to go pick up my daughter. I had to leave the investigation for a minute. I'm like, okay, bye, child, love you. The ghost says, love you.
Yeah.
So they do weird things, but the voices may not sound the same.
Hello, I'm from Fall River, but in San Juan, Puerto Rico right now, coming back soon. Oh, thank you for watching.
Awesome.
Juan. We appreciate you checking out the show. I use the SMS app, and I've gotten SLS stick figures on my curio cabinet often. I keep memorial cards of loved ones passed on there. That's excellent. With the I don't know if that's it. She's talking about an app on her phone. Remember I showed you that app?
Yeah.
Or she's actually talking about an SLS camera. You just have to be careful with the app and even the real SLS camera, because sometimes it can misread things like a lamp, a coat hanger, or whatnot. Even a chair, sometimes it will show up. But if it's just a figure standing there and there's really nothing to misread, it's a cabinet, it shouldn't misread that. A wall, an open space, that's when you have a spirit there. Try to do something like have them wave at you.
Oh yeah, ask them to wave.
Say wave. Say wave with both hands. Say shake my hand. They'll reach out and shake your hand. We do it all the time just to prove that there's something there and to interact with the spirit. So I'll tell you what, it's real freaky when they shake my hand.
Yeah, you can then feel it. The tingle. There's a little tingle when a spirit will.
All right, so let's get on to the next video, which is in the basement. You're gonna get to meet our friend the Goatman, and this is actually the part where we're setting up. And let me tell you something: these entities, sometimes when we arrive at the location, because of our methods, they don't wait for us to be finished setting up. They'll start interacting with us and setting off all our stuff. But when we've already interacted with them on the first floor, and they either follow us to the basement or something there in the basement heard what was going on the first floor, they get right into it. They're not waiting for us to set up cameras and our equipment again. They'll get right into it. And this place was out of control. Out of control. The activity in the basement while we were setting up was so nuts. It just completely blew my mind. So this part's actually about us setting up in the basement, and wait to see what happens while we're setting up. So let's roll that clip.
Who's making noises over here? Hear it?
Todd.
Right there. Brandon, come here for a second. Listen to this.
Multi.
Hear it? Hey, why'd you stop making that noise, bro?
Describe.
I'm not going anywhere. Can you tap the stool and make that alarm go off, or put the flashlight back on? Oh, you hear it? Hear
I
it?
heard that.
See?
Just right in your phone. I heard something. on the
Who's
phone.
making that noise?
What, like, you know, when you open it up? Yeah.
We
Right
are.
there, no,
She
it's over
said.
there. You hear it?
Uh-huh.
Run, I don't run. Y'all don't know me very well.
Upset run. That's what
I
it
heard
said.
it like you were opening it. I understood.
Upset run.
Ever. Is that, what's that, point at the box?
God, look at my goosebumps. Look at
Let me
that.
see.
You look crazy.
The numbers on this thing was just jumping up.
You were?
Stand in here and I'll camera or no?
Yeah. I have this camera over here.
This is gonna go off for a second. Alright, the rest of the alarm's gonna go off for a second, everybody. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut off. Go off in here.
It was going, it was just moving.
What was moving?
The numbers on that was going up and down.
The zero right here, kinda. Can you make this thing in my hand go off? Can you make it go off? Or just grab it by the. Are you hitting my box? Wow, right, Brandon? Over there, look, check it out. Crazy, something banging back there. Oh, this thing goes off over here. Alright, so who's down here? Who? Tell about this, your house being called the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast. You didn't know? Check it out. You hear that? There's a sign out on the front of the house. Where's your phone?
I took a picture of it.
Huh? Let me show it.
Can you
You
scare
take any
us out of
pictures,
here?
Yeah, I took pictures.
If you can't, turn on the light. Did you scare the Ghost Adventures crew out of here?
Let's see in here.
Yeah, let's see.
How do you make this brighter again, Marissa?
Well, it's already on night. I changed it to night.
What did you do to scare them?
It's fixed.
Which one of you can I start?
It's on night.
Why do you keep saying get out? What was that?
That's Casey.
That wasn't me.
No, what?
Bang?
You
That
didn't
was
walk
over
in there?
here.
That was
No, that was
loud,
on the
bro.
other side.
You hit this.
No, I didn't.
That was
No,
the
that's
metal.
metal.
That was over here.
That was metal. That's plastic.
That wasn't you?
I didn't touch
That was
that.
loud.
Who just banged over here? Shh.
What the?
Could you hit?
It's on night.
Why do you keep saying get out?
What
was that? What you just heard was an instant replay of that bang from our other camera's microphone. As you can see, it sounds a little bit different, but I wanted you to get a second idea of just how loud that bang was. Actually, neither camera's microphone actually does that noise justice. It was the loudest bang we have ever heard during a paranormal investigation. It was actually kind of startling. You can also see in the camera frame that all 4 people that were in the basement were standing right there. Nobody was moving, and certainly nobody was pounding, punching, or kicking anything to make that loud a noise. And as you heard from the Vortex Spirit Box, the entity known as the Goatman, who we had yet to see, was taking full credit for that noise. Some sort of demonic creature. You will find out about him soon enough.
Did one of you just bang over here?
Do it again.
I just moved.
Yeah, I was asking what they did to scare the Ghost Adventures guys too.
That's maybe what they did.
That was a warning?
Yeah.
I did not do that.
Do it again. No, none of you guys did that. I thought it was Casey, but you would have only hit the plastic. You wouldn't have hit the that noise.
About the Ghost Adventures thing, he said I did not do that.
Is that what you did to scare them? Did Zach? Did you guys like Zach?
No.
What about Aaron?
Fake.
Fake demon, they said. Brandon, look at me.
Oh.
For the last 2 minutes, I had been taking pictures with my Samsung Galaxy phone on night mode. In this picture, you can see two amazing faces of apparitions, as well as the most amazing thing, an axe, as in the axe used to commit these murders. In the blow-up of this picture, you can see on the left a head of an apparition. We believe this to be Andrew Borden. It even looks like there is blood spattered all over the right side of his face. The axe below looks like it even has an arm leading up to it with a hand grasped around the handle. As far as the apparition in purple on the right, it looks like a woman with no eyes, black sockets there, a frown on her face. It even looks like the side of her head on the left-hand side is missing, and I hate to say it, it almost looks like her brain is oozing out the side of it. Now, at Relatively Paranormal, we have a rule in place where we take 3 to 4 pictures in a row. That way, if anything does show up in the picture, normally if it's paranormal, it will change, move places, or completely disappear somewhere within those 2 to 3 to 4 pictures in the frame. Now, amazingly enough, in the third picture, you can see our friend, the lady in purple, has returned up in her familiar spot in the bricks, with it looks like a second apparition's head below that, with a hand covering part of the face. We are not sure why this hand is there reaching around the brick, why it's covering up this face, and who this other face is now, but it's pretty amazing that we went from 2 apparition heads and an axe head to nothing to 2 more apparition heads with a creepy translucent hand covering one of the faces.
Yeah, there's 2 on the table.
Thank you.
Oh, what was that?
Can you turn on this flashlight? Oh shit, as soon as I said it.
What was that?
Creepy.
Yo, somebody just walked right up behind me. Right up on me.
Who walked up on Todd?
Right after I say the words right up on me, you will hear an EVP of the word goat.
Right up on me.
Scott scared to go upstairs by himself?
Who's dead? Me? Yeah, eventually one day. Who called me? The demon did? Yeah, but he won't even I'm right here, bro! Where are you? Was that you? You just dragged something?
Yeah, it was me.
But why won't you show yourself, you fucking cowards? Quitter, you're a quitter.
Choosing.
Listen.
Abby, are you still here?
She said yes.
Andrew, can you take a photo with me?
Oh, there we go. Ghost TV.
I've got this
That's
device.
explain to everybody.
I've got this device right here. In the front, you'll see static. But what it's going to do is if you... Oh, everybody already?
First, I am showing you Ghost TV at full speed as we saw it with the apparitions flying by. Next, I'm going to show you what they look like at 50% speed so you can better see what they look like and how they came across the screen. It's all pretty creepy stuff. And I'm going to show you some stills finally so you can see just how creepy it really all is. In this first part, you can see a couple faces show up with no features on them. Second up is a creepy, like demonic, like staticky type face. Third is an old man screaming. Wait till you see the still of that one. Followed by two shadow figures walking by the screen, really creepy. And finally, what we're going to see here is a woman with her hands in front of her face screaming for help. We're now seeing the still photographs of what you just saw on Ghost TV. In this frame, you can see that there is a faceless apparition on the right side of the TV screen. It has absolutely no facial features. You can just see the whiter round outline. In a second, you're going to see that I've outlined this apparition with a blue line. That's where the head is. As you can see, there's clearly almost like a mouth, eyes there, but there's really nothing feature-wise to see on the screen. On this part, you can see a demon starting to manifest slowly in each frame. Here, his face is more like a skull. Now it has more like flesh on it. It's got more facial features. As you can see, it's wearing like a black hood around it. Really freaky, just really scary stuff. And now you can see the full demon has manifested. His eyes have slits in them like some sort of like a werewolf. His mouth is open screaming. You can see his hood. I've outlined him here. He is a truly terrifying entity that has showed up on Ghost TV. Just really freaky, especially those eyes. Now you can see a truly distorted face of an apparition screaming its head off. Up at the top, you can see the eye sockets have no eyes in them. They're just black sockets. And this one, you can really see the ear over to the left, the mouth at the bottom wide open with the teeth and the tongue, and a distorted nose above it. It's almost like a double shot of the face. Here you can see a really good representation of the face. I have outlined the eyes, nose, and mouth so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this entity is screaming his head off. Now we see these tall, skinny shadow figures that moved across the screen. As you can see, they're moving different parts of the screen. Their bodies are kind of changing a little bit, but they are clearly the normal definition of a tall, skinny shadow figure. And they just walked right across the screen. I've outlined them here. Really freaky stuff. I did see some shadows moving out of the corner of my eye down there. And now you're about to see another entity manifest. The screen is green. There's no color in this app. And here it's a woman holding up two hands in front of her face, screaming her head off. This must be Abby Borden. Really freaky stuff. Wow. So I messed up. The setup video will actually come on next because it's full of awesome evidence as well. That's the middle video where we get into kind of the meat of the basement investigation, and the Goatman's kind of becoming more prevalent as we're hearing more things from demonic voices, more threats. When I was yelling, "Show yourself," I'm standing right here. Just so you know, we are standing in the absolute pitch dark. Like sometimes you'll see us reaching around. Like that's how it's like when I say pitch dark. Like I couldn't see anything there except for the light from the vortex, or if somebody turned on a flashlight. That's it. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's why when I'm yelling at the demon because he's threatening to kill me and everything. You know, when I was walking to go upstairs and that thing walked up on me, I could hear the footsteps like right behind me. You can hear when I stop that there's two footsteps, boom, boom, and then like a bang. Like that is right next to me. Like that's why I spun around fast with the flashlight. It was pretty crazy stuff down there. And it just got real dark real fast. I think there was actually more than one demonic entity down there. This Goatman. I don't even know if Abby was down there. I know Andrew was.
Oh, Abby was down there. She's I asked if she was in. She says, yes, Borden, Abby Borden.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, They were, like, begging us to get them out of there, try to help them. Like, said this demon's trying to kill them. Like, I don't know how that would happen, but, you know, they want out real bad. But it was real dark down there. It was heavy. There's no doubt.
Yeah, those, the photos that we captured were just really, that's, it's an app that we use, Ghost TV, and.
Oh, you're talking about the television app, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll get photos, sometimes I won't. We got a lot.
The television app is like Poltergeist when the little girl's sitting in front of the TV and the static. forms, a ghost face. If you ever seen the movie White Noise with Michael Keaton, it works. Like, it didn't work for 2 years, and then we found entities that know how to use it, and we just explain it a lot better.
I just tell them, like, we don't know how to use it. We don't know how to use it. I don't know the first thing, but we just ask. What I'm saying is, like, I don't know how they figure it out. But we just ask them, like, listen, we have this. You can try to manipulate it, make your face show. And
it's awesome.
They're able to do it, and it's fantastic.
We've left that app on for hours at our old apartment, which wasn't haunted. This apartment is, that one isn't.
Yeah.
And it would just be that static TV. The first time it was here, when we saw the static disappear on a face, like, that's technically not possible. It's just an app of static TV.
Yeah.
For that to disappear and faces to appear is so astounding.
That was actually on our YouTube page, and I think
and actually,
we're all freaking out, right?
I gotta say, like, that, honestly, the pictures that came out are actually more impressive. That the man's face that's there and it disappears, like, we looked at it for days, and then, like, Marissa noticed he had blood splattered on the side of his face. Then I noticed his eyes were closed, and then it was like 2 days ago, I noticed the axe. Like, I had that section done. I had to redo that voiceover explaining those pictures because I noticed the axe. And if you look real close, you can see, like, a hand and an arm holding it. It looks like the axe, like, is about to, like, hit that person.
Yeah.
It's insane. And then the other entity in that picture with the purple head, it looks like, I hate to say it, like the side of her head's gone and her brain's coming out, is what it looks like. Honestly, it's insane.
Yeah. After the show, I would go back and just, like, play it in slow motion so you can actually see it, because the pictures are
absolutely, and the pictures you're about to see coming up in a couple sections are just as incredible. But moving on, I don't see. I don't know if there was any comments after that one. But if there were, we'll get to them after the next section. We're gonna play real quick. It's all queued up and ready to go. That section I told you about, where we're setting up the basement and all sorts of activities going on. So let's roll that video.
Turn on the light if there's more than 3 people here. 3 spirits.
Oh.
There's more than 3? Is there more than 5?
Oh, but you know what's broken? This thing's dead. The light's not working. Oh, yeah,
Moment.
I just played a video from the end of our basement investigation where Casey was trying to find out how many spirits were in the basement. She repeatedly got an answer of 10 spirits and 5 demons, equaling 15 supernatural beings in the basement of the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast, which certainly explains the high amount of paranormal activity we encountered all over the house, but especially in the basement where we were repeatedly told to go. What I'm showing you occurred during our setup and on our static X camera, which was pointed away from us during the basement investigation. This part is the static X camera. As you can see, spirit energy orbs are flying by left and right. Now, there was some dust down there, but dust flies around in an aimless, kind of floating, snow-like manner. You don't even see any on the screen right now. Spirit energy orbs move with purpose. They move in intelligent manners. They move ultra fast sometimes ultra slow. They turn on a dime. They are perfectly round most of the time, self-lit, flashing. Okay, dust does not flash. It is not transparent. Spirit energy orbs are transparent when they go by objects. It does not move intelligently, dust, but spirit energy orbs do. What you're seeing on this video right here is only spirit energy orbs, and only the best of the best. There was probably twice as many that I saw on both cameras that I let go. These are the best of the best. Then it's going to move to the other camera view, which shows us setting up, and what you're going to hear is a lot of crazy stuff, noises, instruments going off, and all this occurred before we even started to investigate the basement. So enjoy the rest of this video, and we'll get back to the basement investigation right after.
Oh, I just saw her love fly by. I touch it. Come on, make it go up again. Make it turn red. You can do it.
I just don't want no one to trip on that.
All right, no, please.
Yeah.
I want to put this right next to this. Can you see? Off of my
You
hand.
did, yes.
You saw it?
Yes.
Go ahead, turn that off if it's you. Go ahead, turn it off. Oh. Look, look. Look. That was not me. Look. Nice to be there. Can you turn that light off? I know that was you turning it on. There you go. There you go. There you go. Excellent. If this is, do you hear that noise? If this is Andrew, oh, is this Andrew? There's a box. Is it on?
Is that in my bag? Oh my god.
You got both sides on?
Todd,
Yeah.
this thing was just going off in my pocketbook. Is that bizarre?
Go ahead, can you turn the light off so we can ask you
Wait, oh
some
no, I didn't
questions?
touch anything.
Thank you. That box, you can tuck through that black box down there.
Oh, this one was on.
If this is Andrew, turn the light off all the way. Twist it the other way. Okay, turned it up. If this is someone else, turn the light off.
And she
With the
pump.
box.
This other one, you were trying to load them up?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
another pump right here. No. Light her up.
There you go. Here's some energy for you. You see?
Oh shit. Are these the real axes?
No.
It's
No,
broken.
the police
No,
took
that
it.
stage, that's where they found the alleged murder weapon
Oh.
in,
Oh! He hit it! That's the vibration detector. I put it on the stool where the flashlight is. Woo! Wow.
Wait, how did I set that off? Oh, it's not about to go.
Right, so she's still hitting it. Turn off that. He hit it again! He hit it again!
I know.
You don't hear that? Are you tapping on that? I'm trying to stay on.
In about a half hour, and the
I'm
word
just gonna
spits out
turn the
the
box
phone.
on.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's.
it's up again.
Did it?
It is recording.
Wow. So honestly, that is the best display of spirit energy orbs ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And I know that people dispute energy orbs. Listen, first of all, let me just say that we have at least maybe 2 or 3 times more than that. That is just the best ones. But I put those descriptions on there and did a nice voiceover about the difference. Okay, nobody in the world is going to tell me that that flashing orb that shoots at us at the end and then boomerangs like a yo-yo and goes back into the wall it came out of is dust.
Or any of them.
No, yeah, listen, those ones that are flashing, they move with intelligence. Some of them rocket by. They're shooting all different directions. They move. They disappear and appear on screen. Dust is a solid object. It doesn't appear and disappear. It floats by. It looks like a flurry of snow. Like you will never see one flake of dust float by on its own. Has anybody ever kicked up dust outside or anywhere and seen just one crumb of dust come up and then shoot off like a rocket somewhere and disappear? It just doesn't happen. Those were spirit energy orbs. They one shot out of my back and then shot right back into me, which was kind of freaky to see because I didn't feel anything at the time. Just really incredible stuff. And all that other activity, the vibration detector, I mean, you can't tell the depth perception there, but we're like 15 feet away. And it goes off and then goes off again a second later. And those are the only 2 times it ever went off. And we were right next to it, walking around, doing all sorts of stuff within 6 inches of it, and it never went off, but it went off those 2 times. That is the stuff I love when you see multiple things happening. You know, the static detector, it's a little box that only detects static energy. So if Marissa rubbed her feet on the carpet and put her hands on it, it would light up. It never goes off. She looks down and sees it lighting up in her pocketbook. Like your phone doesn't set it off. Nothing electric sets it off, only static electricity. So that's the type of stuff that we love, and it was just incredible that it was all going on when everybody's focused on setting up cameras and equipment, and boom, all that crazy stuff is going on. So I guess that we do have some comments to get into, so I know we're running a little short on time, so we'll get into that. I think she killed them because her mother didn't do anything about the father. Then she kills the father because he did what he did to her. I never knew all that stuff about the Bordens. It's interesting. We did a lot of research on it. I already knew quite a bit about it. I mean, a lot of it is hearsay, subjective stuff. There's no proof that he was a molester, but my theory on the whole entire murder is it's a rage killing. If somebody was just mad at him because they did business with him, wanted to kill him for an assassination, whatever, you hit somebody 1 or 2 times with an axe and it's over, okay? To hit somebody 19 times and then hit another person an hour and a half later 11 times, okay, is rage. It's overkill by like 1,000%. Like, especially if you want to get away with it because you wouldn't want all that blood. Can you imagine how much blood is on you after the 18th and 19th whack?
Oh, yeah. She must have been exhausted. It was a lot to do. I just can't understand. I believe that she was possessed. I always thought that, yes, because
You don't have to move.
she killed the mother because the mother didn't do anything about the father molesting them. That's what I,
Well, it wasn't her real mother
too.
anyway. It was her stepmother
Stepmother.
who she didn't like anyway because the father was gifting her all sorts of real estate.
Yeah.
They're watching him age and basically he's giving away their inheritance.
Uh-huh.
They're spinsters. They're not married. Like his inheritance at that point is all they're going to have. In 1892, women didn't work a lot. They were dependent, unfortunately, upon men. It's just the way society was at the time. And, them poor ladies were stuck there with this bastard. And honestly, if that's what he was doing, good for her. I got no problem with what she did. Good for her. Oh, hi, Auntie. Hi, Todd and Marissa. Some friends and family are watching today. Did you ever use a digital recorder? We do have one. It's been malfunctioning lately. I don't know why. We have been catching strange EVPs on the cameras lately, like that goat one. And we were actually watching a previously wickedly haunted episode from a few weeks ago, the other Lizzie Borden one. And we were looking for a comment that someone said put on there because they asked for help. And we found an EVP on the last episode of Wickedly Haunted that I'll cut out and show the next one.
In our home.
It happened here. Yeah, this is a haunted house.
So our home is haunted. So while we were doing the show of the first.
Yeah, it sounds like a woman telling me to shut up.
No, wait, what does it say? What does it say? Oh, yeah, it does say shut up. That's right.
I think so. There's a female ghost here that we investigate and talk to a lot.
Yeah.
And we haven't communicated with her a while, so she's kind of bent.
With us.
Yeah, Angie's kind of bent. So, but it's a documented death in the building, and we have hours upon hours of documentation about the haunting here.
Yes, Pamela. Yes, rage killing.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt. I'm a fan of true crime, but you don't even have to be a fan of true crime for that. Amy Levine from Dead Files received messages that there was inappropriate happenings between the sisters, as well as between Lizzie and Files. The whole family was messed up at some point, and I don't know what the history was with the original mother and what the family dynamic was like there. And if he remarries, they move to this other home, there is an ancient evil there that gets into them and makes all this happen, or if the demon that was there just made it worse and it was already going on. I don't. That's a part that I would have to research more. But where did we talk to Andrew? All over the house.
Oh yeah.
We started talking.
Upstairs,
we started
downstairs.
yelling at us in the living room.
The most contact that we had with him was in the living room upstairs. In the room that he
just asked for a whiskey in that last video. He said, "And a whiskey for me." That's his real voice.
That's his real voice for sure. We can tell when they're using other.
Well, if it's choppy and there's different vocal tones and emphasis, it would say, "And whiskey for me," and it might come across 2-3 voices.
Yeah.
It came across clear as day, and a whiskey for me.
Yeah.
So that's Andrew Borden. That's his real voice, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I didn't know what he was saying at first. I said, "Did somebody just ask for a whiskey?" No. So so that we think it was Andrew Borden. But yeah, we talked to him all over the house. He got mad. He followed us up to our room yet at the end of the night. We haven't told anybody this yet, but I provoked him because I think he's a child molester, and I said, "Well, I'm gonna go to sleep in your bed tonight in your house. What do you think about that?" Because he was trying to kick me out, and he said, "I'm going to follow you, keep you awake, and make you miserable." Comes out clear as day. And go ahead, tell him.
We hear footsteps as we're laying in bed.
About 20 minutes after we laid down, we talked about the investigation.
Pacing back and forth. I'm like, "Do you hear that?" He's like, yeah. Then another second, like, did you hear that? He's like, yeah. Oh, the next thing I know, he's snoring, and I'm like, ah!
That's the problem. Like,
Still going back and forth.
Andrew Borden doesn't understand that. One, I'm not afraid of ghosts. We lived in a haunted house previous to this for almost 4 years.
Hmm.
2, we lived in this haunted house for almost a year. 3, I'm not afraid of ghosts. And 4, I could sleep through a hurricane. And after a paranormal investigation, I'm so drained. I knocked out. Marissa, what did you want? You probably lasted a little bit after that.
Oh yeah.
I was so tired I didn't get up to record it. Shame on me for not getting up
I
to
know, because they were very.
I was so beat. We had so much evidence already. I said, I guess I don't need the footsteps.
I mean, Andrew Borden was making those footsteps noises. You know,
he was
like,
trying to scare me.
He was trying to take us off. He was trying to keep us up.
He was trying to scare us, really.
And, yeah, I'm sure trying to scare us, but
It's just
they
wrong people to do it to, because we're not afraid of ghosts.
But they were loud, and you could hear them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing.
He's, if Jack Osborne was there and he did that, he would have left the building. He would have checked out. That would have been it. He would have ran away, right? What is it? The cowardly dog. Here's the cowardly dog. Well, I call him
Anyhow,
Jack the Cowardly Ghost
Speaking
Hunter.
of being tired, we have the Ouija board up next.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, great. So, no. Goatman's up next, isn't it? The video with the Goatman, I believe, is up next. The one with all the Goatman pictures and everything.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
The Ouija board is the last one. Yeah, run the Goatman one, because it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. So now you get to see the Goatman and really hear what he's all about.
Oh, come get me! Ooh, scary.
Touch his leg on his way up. Touch his right leg on the way up. Can you make a bang on the...
How many spirits are down here right now? How many spirits?
What's my name?
Repeat that? Yes. Did you hear that?
What's the name of the tour guide that comes here? Who's not in the room right now? Can you scare us?
Battery's running low on this one. Todd.
Turn off the light.
Industry.
Turn off the flashlight. If Mr. Borden's in this room with us, turn off the flashlight. Is Mr. Borden watching us? Is Abby watching us? Are you guys protective of this house?
The story with the kids still? Brandon?
What are the name of the kids?
Mine? Lucian? Yes, what are your names? What are the names of your kids?
Is there a spirit named Bill that visits here?
One kid.
Is Bill here?
This started about 20 minutes after we began the investigation in the basement. I had run upstairs to grab the V1 SLS camera that had been charging after the entities killed it and sucked all the battery juice out of it. During that time, the spirits and entities in the basement started going on and on about an evil spirit calling the Goatman. They said he was a demon, and let me tell you, he's one of the scariest things we've ever seen. as you're about to find out in the next few minutes. At this point in the investigation, Marissa begins to take pictures with her phone camera, which does have a night mode. She gets some incredible pictures and some that are truly horrifying, as you're about to see. I begin to provoke the spirits down here, as we have received many threats over the last 20 minutes, and I had about had it. This caused the demons to show themselves just as I asked them to. Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Do something! Do something!
Hurting.
You're not a demon, bro. A demon is a supernatural being. You won't even show yourself. I got the camera right aimed at the box. Show yourself at the box. The box. Come on. Do it. That's right. You guys are weak. Weak. Come on, man. I've seen scary shit in the house.
So,
Daniel.
Just spitting out names.
It's at this point that Marissa takes the scariest picture we have ever taken at Relatively Paranormal. In this picture, you can see two entities in the frame as well as myself. I am over to the right-hand side. Julia walked by as I was looking at this picture. She's the one who said it looked like a goat. Upon further review, we noticed up at the top of the screen what looked like a portal, something we had seen on other pictures we have taken over the last few months. And out of that portal was a head sticking out, which looked like it even had a body on the other side of the lit up portal. That head up top has lit up yellow eyes, which demons are often reported to have, and either horns or ears sticking out of it. The bizarre thing behind Marissa's finger also looks like it has horns sticking out of the top of its head. There are two really bizarre pictures of two really strange looking things. The one at the top of the screen with the glowing yellow eyes, I can almost guarantee is some sort of demonic entity. The thing near Marissa's finger, I don't know what the hell that is. Is that the Goatman? But here's what's really strange. We have a video of Julia walking by, and she said, "Oh, what's up with the picture of the red goat?" So we sat her down and asked her what she had just said and had her point out what she had been talking about. Here is that video now.
This is the nose, this is the tummy, these are the eyes and horns. And the rest is red.
Right.
and what do
A
you
goat.
you think it's a what?
A goat. A red goat.
A red goat.
Yes.
The real goat. It looks like.
So what's the first?
Right. You see two horns? Oh, I see the other one on the other side. You're right.
It's a goat.
Actually, look through my phone.
Oh my God! Look at it. It looks messed up on your phone.
Yeah, it does, right?
That is scary.
I do see your red goat, dear.
That picture is one of the strangest things I've ever seen, and we spent so much time focusing on that thing. To me, it almost looks like a pig with horns. Julia walked by behind me as I was looking at the picture, and she said, "Daddy, why do you have what's that red goat?" And we had no idea what she was talking about. She started calling it the goat. We hadn't, let's put it this way, all that audio of the Goatman in that basement, we didn't really hear any of that. Okay, we heard demon, we heard we're going to kill you, we heard a lot of that. But it's hard to hear all that with all the commotion going on, with people talking, you're in the pitch black, you're trying not to trip up things, whatever. It's not easy. We probably only hear 30% of the audio that comes out of the Vortex Spirit Box live. We heard all of it later. So kind of weird that Julia called it a goat, and then I listened to the video audio track after, and I'm hearing Goatman this, Goatman that, goat, the EVP, straight, that's a straight voice mapped onto the camera saying goat, followed me, basically. It said goat.
Yeah.
It all lines up, and it's crazy. But now that I see the other picture of that weird thing coming through what looks like a portal, and right before, as Marissa's taking the picture, it says, here comes the Goatman, and it looks like a head ripping through like a round portal. You can even see part of his body through it. I know it sounds crazy, but these things exist. And I'm not sure which one's the Goatman, but that other thing coming through the circle is insane. Absolutely insane. But really just crazy stuff from the audio to the things going on around us to that. The last video we're going to show, this is not to mock our boy Brandon, who comes with us, bestie, BFF. Brandon, this is just to actually, the reason why I put this Ouija board video in there is to show how intelligent the spirits actually are. Brandon worked all day. He works like 60 hours a week and then comes ghost hunting with him. God bless him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He had worked that entire day. He, showed up at the Lizzie Borden House at like 7 o'clock at night. He went hard with us till 3 a.m. Marissa and I hadn't worked that day. And then we said, all right, we're going to go do a Ouija board session. I don't know if you want to go to bed. And he doesn't want to like let us down. So like, he tried to stay up with us. It just didn't work out too well. Now the Ouija board is not something we normally do. One, because it's hard for me to prove to you that it's real. Okay, I can't back it up with anything. If there's other things going on, great. But I like to show you folks evidence where 2, 3 things are popping up at once. The voices coming out are matching everything, and it proves to you that these are real paranormal things going on, because they are. But the Ouija board we just did for a goof because they had one there. We're in the Borden house. The activity was nuts, and we wanted to see what would happen from that perspective. Unfortunately, Brandon starts nodding off on the Ouija board because he's so tired. But wait till you see what the ghosts have to say about it, which is what's actually really incredible. Mm. And just for the record, the Ouija board, I'm a real skeptic about it. It worked. It was insane. It felt like, let's put it this way, at one point after this video clip, Brandon falls asleep on the board with his elbows on the board and his hands on it. And I could feel the planchette trying to pull away from his hand. Mm. And I didn't understand what was going on because I was tired. I was like, why does the Ouija board feel like it's trying to rip out of my hands, but it's not moving? And I looked over and noticed he was asleep with his arms on the board.
He was holding it down.
Yeah,
like
he was holding down the planchette, but whatever had it was trying to rip it out of his hand.
Yeah.
True story. Mm. True story. I honestly, I don't hoax. I don't lie. There's no point for that. It's a waste of my damn time. That's not what I'm here for.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was insane. But
all of us were tired, and the thing was actually going pretty fast a few times. Yeah. I know we weren't moving our arms that fast.
So Brandon will watch either. If he's not watching live, if he's at work, he'll watch the replay. This is not to goof on you, although it is so funny. It is funny, but my boy works 60 hours a week, and this kid was exhausted, and he just didn't want to let us down. Mm-hmm. But wait to see what the entities have to say. It's insane. So let's roll this last quick clip. You can be actually pretty impressed. It's pretty funny. You mean harm to us? You mean harm to us? Go ahead. I'm barely touching this. I was gonna say this. Yes. Okay. Okay. Are you mad at me? Sophia. Yeah. Where's it going? Where's it going? To no? Okay. Alright. Are you mad at Brandon? Where's it going? Dude, why is it mad at you, bro? It's not mad at me, it's mad at you. Kill? Can you spell out why you're mad at Brandon? Well, that's strange. It's not mad at me, but it's mad at you. Spell it out. I. Yeah, I.
Is that a B or a C? Whatever it is. B. I-B. U. I-B-U. What?
Over here.
I-B-U. B.
Uh-oh.
So Brandon, after working all day and investigating all night, had a hard time staying awake during the Ouija board session, something that we normally don't do anyway. The spirits and demons apparently took offense to this. To be completely honest with you, since I'm normally the one that provokes these negative entities, I was completely shocked when they said that they didn't mean me harm, that they were actually angry with Brandon. And then even more stunned to hear in the audio that it was because he was falling asleep on the Ouija board. This is an incredible piece of audio evidence, as it shows that these are intelligent spirits that are not only paying attention to the situation, but responding to it in a big way. It's kind of funny too, because we were just looking and normally we leave the flashlights on to confirm answers we hear coming out of the vortex spirit box. If we can only hear part of it or we think we heard it, we'll say confirm. I forgot to even put them on there, and they're there in the background going nuts. That's them trying to communicate other things to us, going, hey, why aren't you paying attention anymore? But as you can see, I'm so used to the demons being mad at me because I provoke them. Marissa and I cleanse houses. We kick them out. We have tons of video of it. We use prayer and sage and holy water, and they know it. Once one demon knows you, they all know you, and they hate us, especially me. So when I said, do you mean us harm? It said yes, wasn't shocked. When I said, do you mean me harm? And it said no, pretty shocked. Pretty shocked. I said, do you mean Brandon harm? And it flew over to yes. Really stunned, because why? I couldn't figure out, usually they are never mad at him because he hardly, doesn't ever say anything offensive to them. He only just asks regular questions. I couldn't figure it all. And then I'm watching this video footage, and I'm like, oh my God, Miss, listen to this. They were mad because he was sleeping. We didn't hear that live, the wake up and get up, and that demon was going to kill him over it. He was so disrespected that he was falling asleep on the Ouija board that he wanted to kill him. It was insane. Absolutely insane. Really great stuff. I don't think there's any more comments tonight. Again, we just want to mention, if anyone is experiencing paranormal activity and you would like Relatively Paranormal to come investigate it, please just go to the website, relativelyparanormal.com. Okay? We don't judge. We don't charge. We just help. We don't charge for anything, not one penny. We're here to help. We do it because we experienced it for years. We still experience it today, and we want to help people. We want to come validate that what you're experiencing is real. You're not crazy. We want to let you know that you're not alone, that there is help out there. And we want to educate you as to what's going on and the best way to handle it. And if you need us to remove the entities, we'll do that too. But you're not alone. When we experienced the horrific haunting in Fall River, we could not find help. No one. That's why we started doing this. Okay, we decided to help ourselves. But now, a decade later, we want to help others. So if you need it, please reach out. We're here to help, honestly. And again, on the website, it's got links to our YouTube page, which has a lot of great video. Our Facebook page, please join it. It's also called Relatively Paranormal. We love interacting with anyone, interested in the paranormal. Again, if you need to just ask a private question or want to talk about investigation privately, it's relativelyparanormal@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had as much fun as we did. Sorry we're a little rusty. It's been a couple weeks. We really wanted to put together a good Lizzie Borden two-part episode for you, because it was just an awesome investigation. Besides the no lock on my hotel room door, I recommend the place. Just bring something to wedge up against the door or something. Actually, that wouldn't even work because you leave the room. Other than that, the place was awesome. The staff was awesome, and the activity was awesome.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Andrew and Abby Borden for giving us all the answers and communicating with us. I'd like to thank you for watching, and from our family to yours. Thank you so much. Have a great week, and we will see you next week. We did a great private house case last week. We went and helped some folks out, and we have some great video to show you from that because a lot of strange things happen there too. So please join us next Friday, 6